What's going on, guys? It is the Kai Beam podcast, and you already know what it is. Episode 13. I'm here with my co host Gamdo and Mr. Elusive, and of course, Kai Beam. Same name. You know what it is. So, lot of good topics. Well, depends on how you view some of the news, but we're going to start off pretty somber because unfortunately, we talked about this last podcast. DMX, he was on life support at that time, but unfortunately, he passed, and it's just like it's crazy. Just coming off of like 2020, man, it's like we lost so many big people that year, and then just to start off this early this year, and it's already like it's just a sobering thought. What am I trying to say? Just being able to see like life like that, like your own kind of mortality, like just always getting that realization that at any time, you just never know when it could be over. But I mean, for DMX, it was a special case just because he had a really rough childhood. For one, he was a survivor of child abuse from his mom and her boyfriends. And here's a fact that I didn't know: the reason that the reason that he did the whole dog barking stuff is because he would, escape from home, and he'd be wandering the streets by himself, and he'd come across like stray dogs and whatnot, and he befriended them. So I guess those barks that he did within his songs were more so like an ode to that, which is like, just thinking about all that is just really like, it's fucked, man. It sucks to see someone have to go through all that pain. And it seemed like for a while there he was clean, and then he had the relapse, and it just ended awfully. So rest in peace to him. I really hope that his family and everyone else, they have a good time coming together, and just condolences to them. Just keep strong, man.
R.I.P. DMX, and much love goes to his family and friends.
R.I.P.
Much love.
And I hope one thing that to take away from it too is like I really hope these some of these people in the music industry wake up to the fact that the music industry on the inside does not give a fuck about the artist, because they're taking all this revenue, all of this limelight of a deceased artist, and they're going to use that to fund their own record label. And it's fucked up. It's honestly fucked up because, like, I partially blame. I don't know that much about DMX like that. Of course, I've heard of his music because it's really iconic, but I blame the music industry for getting him the way that he was, because it was not. It made it even worse for him as he was going on in life.
Yep.
And all they're doing now, I guarantee you, is just banking off of his death. And who knows if they're actually supporting his family? I don't even think they are. Like, I wouldn't put it past me if they were just like, nope. Does he have his masters? Does DMX have his masters?
I do not know if he did or not. I want to add on to that as well. Like, the music industry is just not, just all the things you hear, just the entertainment industry as a whole. And by entertainment, I mean like music, the movie industry, and all that type of stuff. It's just not good, man. They treat people like shit, especially artists. And you hear about how the labels treat them, and how they sometimes leave, like an artist. Well, let's say they have a great album, and the label they're under doesn't even give them the proper like budget to like really push it, so they have to do everything themselves, and the sales don't get to where they could have been had you had the machine behind you, like you're doing for other artists. So it's just a really fucked up thing. So suffice it to say, I hope that his family is gonna get the residuals from that, because that's his property, his stuff, and hopefully he owned his masters and everything. I don't know, but yeah, rest in peace to
Another thing is don't, whatever you do not fucking make a doc or a biography film like you did with Aaliyah. Do not do that shit, man.
Yeah.
That is the most tasteless fucking thing I've ever seen. I didn't listen to Aaliyah, but the fact that their family was 100% resounding no, please don't make this, and they did it anyways. It's
But that's the
just
thing, though. It's gonna happen. It's
mind-boggling.
just a matter of time.
Yeah,
It's
I
gonna
mean it
happen.
is, but
Like the blood and sweat of black people is always used for money, man. So it's gonna happen anyway. So just expect it to happen.
You know,
yeah,
with bringing up that Aaliyah thing, you know, what makes it even worse is not only the family say no, but as far as I've heard, those movies were shite. So
yeah,
you
because they couldn't use any
basic
of the music.
you basically just ruined it. Like they said no to you already, and you made the movies were shit. So it's like, what the hell? Why would you even? I don't know, man. It's just again,
Every time a black
capitalism.
icon
You know,
dies, they're just gonna try to bank as much last ditch effort money as possible off that death, man. It's just gonna happen. So
Yep, they
RIP
did with Michael
DFX.
Jackson 4 times. They said this is it. Now they're trying to bury this man's legacy in the dirt. So
yeah,
yeah,
it's fucked.
it's crazy. Before we get on to any topics, I want to reiterate what I said from last podcast episode when I was talking about toxic masculinity. I should have reiterated when I said that there is a double standard to toxic masculinity for the black community because of the uh, dynamics between an absent role model or the toxic masculinity is a byproduct of absent role models, and that right there creates toxic femininity, toxic masculinity, and I want to separate that from other people's terms of toxic masculinity because I don't know what the fuck is going on over there, but yeah, if that helps.
Gotcha. So, what do you guys want to move on to? I mean, we kind of have quite a bit here. You want to go into games? I don't know.
I mean, gaming. Oh man, there's a lot with gaming. I guess we're gonna go ahead and get into it, but it's just I don't really like the way things are going with the games, to be honest. I mean, we play Apex. There's war games that came out, which is actually pretty fun because
Yeah, that is fun.
I didn't even once I like maxed out my battle pass level to 110. At first, I was gonna be like, "Yep, I'm not gonna play this," but war games came out, and it was actually, excuse me, it was actually a lot better than the heat wave thing because that heat wave thing sucked. I've
Yeah, I
expressed
didn't.
my grievances with that shit.
Most
That
people
was
didn't like that
an
mode.
ass event.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Let's go ahead and get into this Last of Us thing though, because like Last of Us, for whatever reason, they decided they were gonna do a Last of Us remake. Originally, it was gonna be by these people called Visual Art Studios, and um, Visual Art Studios is
Visual Arts Service Group.
oh, service. Oh, okay. Yeah. And originally these guys were like the cleanup crew, like the damage control for like the MCU, except for gaming, where they would basically come in and do any last minute game development when they're like
Let's just
behind
call it
schedule.
crunch because that's what they're pretty much just come in there and crunch
Yeah,
for.
I mean, yeah, for the lack of better terms, yeah, it is a crunch, but they basically did help out these studios. Like there's
No,
Spider-Man, Uncharted, and all that stuff. Like,
they did excellent work. I'm just saying, but like they are the developers who are like forced into like cleaning up messes for these big studios, you know.
I wouldn't say force. They're more like a kind of like a contract thing where these guys would clean. That's why I said that like damage control, where they would be asked for their services and they would help out. But
Yeah,
they
but they're treated like shit, even though they always come to save the day, though.
they got
Exactly,
treated
and
like shit now, which is
we'll
what
get
I'm
into
getting
that.
to.
Yeah.
Yeah, because essentially these guys are gonna make a whole new game from the ground up. They wanted to remake Last of Us, and I guess Neil Druckmann
Oh,
or
by
just
the
like
way,
Naughty Dog. What's up?
I just wanted to add in before they were going to do The Last of Us, they wanted to make Uncharted, the first one, which would have made a lot more sense. But Sony, being the assholes that they currently are, said no to that. Just to add that in.
Yeah, yeah. So Yeah, they wanted to make a whole game to themselves, just to kind of prove that they can actually do it. And then all of a sudden, Neil Druckmann or Naughty Dog got wind of it, and out of nowhere, Sony just like, well, Naughty Dog, go ahead and take it. And again, I don't know that much about The Last of Us, but from what Kai Beam and Izzy has told me, that there are a lot people that were there for the first one aren't there currently. So what could happen for this remake is just it's up in the air.
Yeah, it's
good or bad.
I'm
going
gonna
for
go
the latter.
Yeah, I'm going for bad. Just because, like, you hear all these stories about Neil Druckmann, like, more specifically, you had this lady called Amy Hennig who was there during the Uncharted games, and I believe she helped out with the first Last of Us game. And you had another guy, he was like a writer, I believe, Bruce Straley, and they were like two figureheads, which I think they're what kept Neil kind of held back from doing the type of shit he did in Last of Us 2. But now that they're not there, because he basically got them out of there, especially the Amy Hennig chick, he forced her to quit, got her out of there. I have no faith in this remake, and the fact that, for one, we don't even need a remake. You're over here remaking a game that came out in 2013 and then had a remaster for the PS4 in 2014. Dude, that was only like 6-7 years ago. Like, it still looks decent enough to play. Like, I can boot that up and have a good time playing it. So my whole thing is, the only reason they're doing that is to basically double down on story elements that they probably had in Last of Us 2. We're probably going to see them demonize Joel, demonize certain characters to justify why they're pieces of shit, and this is why he needs to die type of bullshit. And I'm gonna look at that stuff, and I'm more than likely whenever that ends up coming out, I'll probably do rant about it or talk about it on the podcast, just to see, just to explain all the differences, because I was such a fan of that first game, and my whole stance of it is like The Last of Us 2 is like some fucking fan fiction that's just out there. The Last of Us 1 does not have a sequel, so it's gonna be interesting. I'll say that.
Yeah.
And it's fucked up to see what happened in the the visual arts service group too, just because they basically got cut.
Guy left.
Yeah, they got cut, and it's no wonder that the founder of the company and a lot of members after that happened, they just quit. I would too. It's like, this is bullshit. We wanted to show Sony that we have the ability to make our own games, and maybe we can be seen as a our own thing to go ahead and do make a new IP. But Sony just no. Naughty Dog has the sway. They make games that earn us awards, so we're gonna go with them instead. Yeah, okay. It's like, and don't worry, we have plenty to get in on about Sony. Like, honestly, fuck them. Sony's a piece of shit, man.
I mean, from a business standpoint, Sony do have a point though. Naughty Dog has a proven record of making really great blockbuster games that earn really high ratings and sells well. They're not just gonna go and invest a lot of millions in a company just because they can come in there and clean up shit at last minute.
Right.
If whatever IP they're starting off with, it's not a guaranteed success. While Naughty Dog already has a lot of belts underneath that wing already of success games, why should they waste a lot of money? I wouldn't say waste, but take a risk of investing a lot of money for a company that may or may not succeed in making a successful game.
But is that though? Because is that a good business choice? Because maybe if Last of Us 2 didn't happen, then yeah, that'd be a guaranteed success. But like what you just said there, you're saying that it could be there's a chance it could be a good thing or a bad thing. You're making a remake off of the hype and disappointment of the second game, where the fan base is wildly divisive at the moment.
Even if this fan base is widely divided, The Last of Us still sold played pretty well and made a lot of money back and profit from the sales of the game. So they are still considered not a success.
Oh, of course they will, but that's just because they don't have the foresight to see that enjoy what you did now, because we talked about this off mic. Naughty Dog used a lot of underhand tactics, and not just Naughty Dog, Sony as well, to sell that game. They lied blatantly. They literally fucking changed trailers to make you think that the story is going to go one way, where it's like, oh yeah, it's definitely going to be Joel and Ellie, don't worry, and they didn't show fuck all about Abby. So they fucking lied.
But that's the thing though. Abby was a plot point that had to be a surprise. People went in there with their own expectation of what to expect from the game. It's not that fault that you like as the player went in there with an expectation of what the game is gonna be in, because it didn't turn out that way.
But
people got mad about that shit.
But even then, like, come on,
Abby
like,
is a plot point that they couldn't show in the trailer, because if they do that, it's just gonna spoil the chapter.
No, they
part
knew
of where she arrived.
They knew if they showed that, no one would go for it. That's why they did that.
I don't think. Honestly, I would have thought that even if they did, see, if I was Kaibi, my biggest thing is like they did do false advertising for Joel. Like they pulled a Marvel thing where they showed something that wasn't gonna be there. If you would have just showed Ellie and only her, then that would have been fine.
Exactly.
You could have been like, yeah, Joel's not going to be there. He's not the central focus. That's false advertisement if you do that.
Exactly.
That's the
blatantly
thing,
lied.
The story ended with both Joe and Ellie from Last of Us Part 1, so they have to show Joe in there to tell you, he's still in there. But it doesn't mean they have to tell you that he's not going to be in there for the rest of the story. But they just tell you he's going to be in Last of Us 2.
Even in that.
Don't show that in the trailer.
What I'm trying to say is, like, I get what you're saying, but no, like, they blatantly remade sections of the trailer in the game to make it seem like that's what was going to happen. And then when you actually play the game, that scene doesn't exist. It's completely different. So fabricating and lying.
That way, I understand, but you know, most movie trailers and other media always does that, right? They always like show stuff in trailers that never actually makes sense.
Sometimes. That's not the norm. Sometimes.
No, a lot of stuff
more commonly MCU for sure. I can say, like in Infinity War when they showed, Cap and the Hulk's there and all of them, they're running towards whatever, Thanos and the army, but that scene never happened. But that's fine.
Also, the gaming industry is notorious for always doing that, right? Because they will show you a nice, highly polished CG trailer of a game, but when you play the game, it's never, ever that way.
Yeah. And that's a norm. That's a norm.
Because people actually hold them down to these gameplays and capture the gameplay. So next time, if they release the game and doesn't stick towards that word, people can like call them out on it. But game industry has been notorious for doing that all the time.
And I'm not saying it's anything new. I'm just saying the lengths at which Naughty Dog and Sony went to just cover up this shit. I just fully believe they knew that, especially from the leaks, because once the leaks happened, and I really wish I would have saw leaks, I wouldn't have fucking bought it if I did. But
I didn't.
Once the leaks happened, there was already a shitstorm. They were already fucking, damage controlling this shit. And then, just not even that, once the game released, their response to criticism is fucking garbage. Like, they just, like, especially Neil Druckmann. Like, he was just flat out just like, your critics don't matter. Like, we don't need critics to understand how, good our games are gonna. Like, shut the fuck up and take constructive criticism, dude. Like, shut up.
Kai, hold up. Okay. How would you feel if you made your music, right, and you're about to produce an entire album and about to release it, right, and your album got leaked without your permission, and on release day, everybody already listened to your album, and some people, like the audience who listened to your album, have pretty much devices on that and device on that shit. Some people are saying, man, this shit is fire, and other people are just saying like this shit is whack, and your album released, and there's just a whole bunch of like both sides, like saying some people like it and some other people don't like it. How would you feel about that?
I mean, I don't really know. Like, that's a good question. I'm not trying to like downplay like what Naughty Dog and themselves were probably feeling when that happened, because that is a sucky thing, to see your story get leaked out of there. But you know, there is a two sides to every story, because there are things suggesting that the reason that even got leaked is from a disgruntled employee. First of all, so
if it were me, say if it was me like making like
Yeah.
an anime, like
Yes,
if
yeah.
if it got
Also, you too,
leaked,
Gamdo.
yeah, if it got leaked, and some people weren't happy with it, I feel like I've dealt with enough rejection on the art in the art world to know what I need to do to fix it. The difference between taking criticism and being offended is like, actually no, the difference between like properly receiving criticism and like just absolutely rejecting it, it's there's a distinct difference, if that
But
makes
that's the
sense.
thing, though.
yeah, there is.
These guys has hundreds of employees working for them, right? And this game they're banking on to make a lot of money in revenue for them to like turn in profit. It's kind of messing with that paycheck if they don't actually push the game as it's going to be a success, though. So
Yeah,
if
I mean, it's the
if
same
people
thing
are
with, like,
just
making
coming
a
out
movie.
brilliantly just fucking spoiling the story for something that they've been working on for years, it's pretty much messed up, you know?
Yeah,
Yeah,
and I'm
but
not
don't
saying.
don't gaslight people. My thing is like, if you're gonna get criticism, the first thing you shouldn't do is like, don't just come out the gates and just be like, well, you're a racist, or
Yeah, no, literally,
you're this or that, and start labeling all these people.
that's exactly
Like
what they were doing.
that's my biggest issue. That's the gross thing that they did.
Yeah,
But
it's like let's say.
the criticism also turned toxic. So
I mean,
in
from
all
a
that
certain
toxicity, the
from a certain
objectivity
people,
of saying
certain people.
what's criticism and what's just straight up hate speech and like
Yeah,
just
but
straight up
that's
people just being
that's
toxic
on both
got mixed up.
that's on both
Yeah.
sides. Both sides had this like microcosm of just small parts of their community that were just super toxic. And like I said, let's say you had a criticism about, hey, I didn't like Abby. What they'll say? Oh, well, if you don't like Abby, you must be a basement dwelling incel who doesn't get any pussy. So fuck what you have to say. And all I'm
But
saying
that's
is
the problem
why?
though, because the reason the reason they're going to such a length is because like some of their employees started getting death threats for story points,
Which is fucking stupid. That should not be happening.
Yeah,
that
that
should.
should not
I
be
don't
something,
condone
so
stuff like
I
that.
You
I
can't
don't.
you
condone
can't blame
stuff,
them for
yeah.
being on a defensive at
Yeah,
everybody else,
but
because
that's
it's just
still
pretty
wrong.
much like
It's
the
still wrong
toxicity
on both
just took
sides.
over the critical and the objective criticism of
You have
it
to
all.
acknowledge there were people like myself who were giving concise criticism, like, hey, I don't think Joel's actions within this game really speak to his character considering how he acted in the first game. And then you want to tell me that I'm fucking stupid and, well, blase blah, you're just a phobe or a homo or you hate homosexuals or something like that. How is that relevant to what I'm trying to tell you is fundamentally wrong with your story? Like, that shit is just like, get that out of here.
But
They
most
have
of
a
the
problem
times,
with
like,
criticism for some strange reason.
most of the objective criticism, like I was saying, they may just have been overlooked and just they are toxic. The toxic criticism overshadowed the objective criticism, like yours, though.
I mean, there was a lot of
It was
an
like I
overwhelming
said.
amount of ridiculous criticism, such as like the review bombing and stuff like
Yeah,
that. But even
I don't
but even
condone
with the
stuff like
people-
that. Stuff like that is
yeah,
stupid.
even with the people that were that were objectively criticizing it and was just like saying like, hey, there's the reason why I didn't like it. Point A, the story was not good, the pacing, the characters, like those are valid criticisms. Those are the people that I'm talking about. Like, those are the people that I would probably put myself in that category, such as like Hybeam here. Not
Yeah.
the ones that are being like, oh my gosh, this is like a 0 out of 10.
Yeah,
No,
that
that's
shit
ridiculous.
is stupid. Review bombing, the death threats, no one condones that unless you are an idiot. That stuff, we don't fuck with those people. They're idiots. We had those kind of sections in all these different fandoms before. Like, you know, take Naruto for example. When that ended, you know, you had people sending death threats to him about because Sakura didn't end up with Naruto or Sasuke didn't end up with Naruto. Why are you threatening these people because it didn't go your way?
That's the problem, though. The most toxic fans are the ones who are the most vocal about it. People who just are just laying back, like such as ourselves, wouldn't waste our time too much and to go and constantly like try to post shit on devs net social media feed to tell them shit like that anyway. Or go we want to go and waste our time review bombing shit. So
Right.
the ones that are very toxic are the ones that who are gonna be on this website and constantly peddling toxicity, which in turn like those are all like the devs are saying, and that kind of is disheartening to the like a creative mind, you know.
Yeah, and I'm
If
not
after you put a
discounting
whole
that.
bunch of years into something that you love and you just constantly keep saying like toxicity in return instead of just good faith, and also that really mess with people money and earnings.
I mean,
Yeah,
that I guess
I get it,
that
but
kind of makes it into a mixed bag because there's a lot. Everyone's at fault here is basically
yeah,
what I'm gonna say. But to
that's
take
all I'm
my
saying.
takeaway is that all this happening right here is just Sony playing it safe, which I don't like that because for one, what they're they're doing with these games that are all AAA. They're not taking any risk. They're not putting any faith in indie companies or indie studios. They're not reviving any old IPs because Naughty Dog has a lot of games, a lot of IPs under their belt. I'm waiting for a Jack and Dexter reboot or a remake because we need those games. We need games so that you can make competition for Xbox. Because I'm not gonna lie, and I know both y'all have heard me say this. Xbox is probably gonna fucking kill the
Oh,
generation,
yeah,
this generation,
no,
because they got Bethesda, they got all these backwards compatibility things coming along with their Game Pass. Sony, on the other hand, is not doing anything of the sort because the fucked up thing that happened 2 weeks ago to me was not just this right here. It was the fact that they shut down the PS3 store and the PS Vita store because that shit is whack. You're telling people, oh, why are you gonna play old games when there are new games coming out that aren't even in good quality and are coming out buggy? Like that's
exactly.
shit. That's a horrible business practice right there.
It's
So
garbage.
that's the reason why I don't like the fact that they're making this remake, and that's the reason why if it was up to me, hell no, I wouldn't make a Last of Us remake. I would make a Jack and Dexter. If it was like budget, I would split it up between Jack and Dexter and Uncharted because I know what they're trying to do. I know they're trying to make this remake in tandem with the HBO show because I know what that's gonna be like, and I'm not gonna keep saying it anymore, but just give out some new IPs, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because they're trying to ride a Witcher wave right now, where like once the Witcher Netflix series came out, you remember how well the Witcher 3 Wild Hunt sold?
Mm-hmm.
Even people who weren't gamers actually bought Wild Hunt just to play that.
Yeah, and
And
I mean, there's so many games. There's so many games. Like PlayStation 3, I always said that um, while that generation did suck, there were so many games that came out with it that were enjoyable. Like, yeah,
Right.
they probably didn't sell as well as they wanted it to, but like they had their moments of playability, and when's the last time we had an Infamous game?
That
Since the
was,
first release of the PlayStation 4.
I
Have we
want to
seen any news about that?
say 2014 was that last one that came out.
Yes, it came out
So,
February 2014, and we haven't seen a single announcement of another game come out since then. It's been 6 years. It's been 7 years since the last game came out. What are they doing?
I don't know.
I'm
It's
tired of seeing these games that need to be remade. This is worse than GTA 5 because if y'all remember from that generation too, there's at least 4 games that came out with that.
yeah.
The fuck are y'all doing?
that's the thing though. Now in the gaming industry, instead of them actually banking on creativity, they're banking on what is going to make them the most amount of profit.
Yep.
Oh yeah,
So
you're right about that because when they say they want to shift their focus towards mobile gaming, I'm asking you why are you doing that? Why would you shift your focus from console to mobile gaming?
because
That's
mobile
idiotic.
gaming has a lot of money in it. It
Yeah, I
does.
mean they do have a lot of money in it. Don't get me wrong. They, as annoying as they are, as annoying as mobile gaming is, they do make a lot of money. But that
Yep,
is not what the general audience wants.
exactly.
Well,
You're
general audience for
banking
gaming,
wrong.
but there's always a market for a lot of these older PS titles. Like we have seen, a lot of people wants to play these PS titles, but obviously, if they release it on mobile, even though there are going to be a handful of people who plays it, it's not going to be profitable if the PlayStation Network store for PS Vita, PSP, and PlayStation 3 is still up and running. So the way for them to steer people towards that new business venture, which is pretty much that shake-up they're doing right now, is to close down every other facet of where you can get those games from and push people towards that mobile market that they're trying to focus their attention on right now.
If you're gonna do that, then for the love of God, activate backwards compatibility.
Yeah, I don't. I
If you're
really.
gonna do that, expand PlayStation Now to where all of the games from the PlayStation 3 era or the PS Vita, put that in the store, expand it. Don't just say, well, it's not there anymore, so I guess you guys got to move on to mobile gaming. Because my takeaway from that is that if they do that, y'all remember back then when they had games where you can get the app on your phone, and you had to play. You had two screens looking, where you would look at the map on your phone to see if someone's about to split your wig open,
That's
like in
right.
Halo. That's the same thing. That's what's gonna happen if my memory serves me right, or if I'm going off of trends. You're gonna have your inventory for The Last of Us in your phone, and you're gonna be like, "Oh, how much do I have? Oh, a crawler just ripped my jaw open. Well, I guess I gotta start over."
Yeah, I wanted to add on to what you were just saying. I swear, I don't know what Sony like. They have their heads so far up their asses. It's astounding. You could have been rebranded PS Now, and you could have made it a contender against Game Pass because Microsoft is killing it with that. Fucking
Yeah,
hell, you could honestly. I have to say I wish I had an Xbox right now because had I had one and I had a Game Pass, I could have been playing Outriders for free instead of having to pay that $60 for that shit.
I could
Because
have been
I,
playing Skate.
Skate, there's a ton of games over there. I don't know what Sony is doing. I don't get it. And all this shit they're doing, and we have another story here that they're doing. It's just gonna bite them in the ass. It's like you keep doing that, and Microsoft is they're being quiet. They're calculating, and they're gonna take this generation right from under you. And we called this. We called this from last generation. These dudes would get a fat ass head and just be like, "Oh yeah, the consumers will just take whatever shit we shit out at them." It's like, okay, you keep doing that. Here we have another story here where basically I'm just gonna read this first like little mini paragraph here. Your PS4 console could be rendered completely useless in the future if its internal clock battery dies. You won't be able to play any PS4 games on it, regardless of whether they're digital or disc. This is how you know. I'm just gonna say this: physical disc games, that's dead. I'm just gonna say that right now because
Dude, physical
that
disc game has
is
been
dead.
dead when Xbox,
Dead.
PS4 and Xbox Series S. I mean, Series
I gave
Xbox
up
One and
physical
Xbox,
discs a
yeah, came
long
out.
time. I gave a physical
It's
disc
been dead for a while now.
a long time now, because
I think the only physical disc I had for my PlayStation 4 was Spider-Man, and maybe like the Assassin's Creed Syndicate and Unity. But like, I don't play that on my PlayStation. It's only my PC. So yeah,
yeah, it's
yeah.
just it's just wild, man. It's just wild. And again, I don't know. You know, you have people like fucking what's his name, the head of Sony right now. What's his name, Jim Ryan or some shit. This nigga's over here like just oblivious and like, oh, we believe in generations, and why would you want to play those old games? It's just like you guys need to get some new management, man.
Anybody who
Honestly,
actually believes that guy's nonsense, like I don't even know what to say. That guy is just full of shit.
he
Nobody
is.
should listen to
I
what he's
mean,
saying.
hey, he's the one in charge, so you don't gotta
Of course,
believe
he's
it.
in charge.
If you're just like if you're just like us, we're not happy with it, but they're not going to take the criticism until like maybe a couple years when
They're not gonna listen until people speak with that wallet. That's the problem. If people
Yeah.
don't speak with that wallet, then all these nonsense is gonna keep.
you can't do that. You can't do that now because we haven't had any restock in PS5s, so it's all just up in the air. But I don't know. It's just disappointing. Like for me personally, like
It is.
What it comes down to is the same with this nonsense about with the $70 price tag that they keep tossing on these nonsense AAA games. As long as people don't freaking buy it, then they're gonna fucking listen and realize, yeah, maybe we're not making such a good decision by trying to have people buy these games for overly inflated price. So
I'm a little mixed. I'm a little mixed on that. I think certain games should be $70. I think it should be based off of the hours and the quality of content. If you're gonna tell me Spider-Man Miles Morales is an 8-hour game, it should only be maybe $40. But if you're having something like Cyberpunk, or no, not Cyberpunk.
I was about to say
if it's something like GTA,
shit.
no CD Projekt Red games.
Actually, yeah.
Bro,
Well, I don't know why I don't.
Any game should
I don't
be
know
$70 because in this
The only reason why I
say
say that
people like game developers never really and game developers and publishers never release a complete game, so there's no games that have released in the past 10 to 15 years that I would justify paying $70 for. And I don't think that's going to change in the future either.
If Ghost of Tsushima 2 came out with the stuff they did, I would pay $70.
I'm not gonna pay $70 for that shit. No matter how much.
I mean, here the simple lighting is. I agree with D, but go ahead, D, go ahead.
I would, because the fact that is a complete game. There were absolutely no bugs in that. They offered free content. There was so much stuff to do. Like, as long as it's not buggy, if it's a full complete game, yeah, I would pay $70. Because the thing is if most of these companies, if you have to do crunch time and they just somehow don't sell well, those developers deserve to get paid. But I'm saying, like, if it's a game like Call of Duty, Cyberpunk, fuck no, I wouldn't pay $70. I wouldn't even pay $60. That's why I was upset when I got Cyberpunk, and I'm motherfucking blowing up from with electricity, and I can't. It takes me 3 seconds to get up after falling on my ass. No, that's bullshit. I would never pay that much money. But it's just the games that are actually full of content and have good quality. Yeah, those are the ones that are worth it.
Yeah, I agree with that sentiment, actually.
Well, that's the thing, though. Every game developer who makes a game seriously believes that game is worth the quality of that nonsense price tag of $70.
Oh no, they don't, because Ubisoft, for example, they know what they do when they have microtransactions and stuff. Though that's an exclusion right there. I would say never put $70 for that, because if you know the game is not going to be complete and people have the ability to pay their way to progress, nah, that's an insult.
Right.
It's a fucked up world out there.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, what you really have to look out for is like the sports games. Like those ones are the ones that really are trying to trailblaze for the more shittier companies out there, such as EA and them.
Dude,
who
that's
the sports fans and
any of them leeway, bro. Because once one game says they're worth $70, everybody thinks that game is worth $70. So fuck no, none of them are worth $70. $60 price tag, no justification, no exception.
You could argue that same thing. Exactly.
They do increase.
Because I remember when games were $40, bro. $40. I remember when games were $40. It was tough for them to get it to $60. You could fucking argue right now there are games we've bought that are fucking no way they're worth $60. But I feel like Gamdo was saying, there are games that have like a lot of content and shit for your time.
But that's the thing, though.
Let's categorize this though. Let's do this though. If they're gonna make a game that's $70, there has to be requirements. There can't be no microtransactions. There can't be, like, if you're gonna do DLC, then I don't know. Like, DLC is different, but my most thing is you can't have microtransactions. You can't have
a buggy,
passes.
messy launch.
Yeah, yeah, you can't have those. Like, take that away and you cut that by a large margin. Like, if that happened, right, would you be more open? Because that means those games that you're talking about, Izzy, won't meet those requirements to be $70. Will that change your mind?
Of course, but still, like, I cannot justify to pay $70 for any game right now, because guess what? If a PC is always going to have like a superior version of the game and they're not charging you $70, what the hell kind of excuse does a console have to fucking charge you $70 for a game?
Okay, that's true.
Yeah, that's a good point.
No.
That's a good point. Yeah.
No $70 game, because that is just fucking shit. And you know why they can't do $70 game on PC? Because PC have an option. They'll just fucking pirate the shit out of that game or just buy it from a vendor who will sell it for a better price to them.
Well,
that happens. That happens
the rules follow
a lot now.
If the rules follow for PC, then would that make a difference? Like,
if it follows for PC, then it doesn't make a difference to me. I'll still call it friggin' bullshit. But at least, in a sense, then yeah, because if you're gonna release a superior game on the PC, then you're giving everybody else the same superior game. Yeah, sure, I guess, but it doesn't justify shit though, because in a sense they're still gonna put all these damn microtransactions in it and release a half-broken game and tell you they're gonna release an update to help you fix it later. So no,
yeah,
that
justify $70. Unfortunately, that norm you're talking about, that is because like a lot of gamers have allowed shit like that. And it goes back again to what you're saying.
That's the thing, though.
Speaking with your wallets,
we can't
because
give
we've
them
allowed them to do that.
We cannot give them that room to have any kind of standards for $70, because once you give one company an inch, every other company joins the boat, and before you know it, everybody's just on that freaking boat and just full sail ahead. It's open season on $70.
That's the reason why I would put those limitations on there and those requirements. If you can't meet those requirements, then yeah, you have no reason to. You can't be $70.
But that's the thing, though. None of these companies, such as Microsoft or Sony, is going to put that requirements on there. At least with Xbox Game Pass, you have the option to get Game Pass, and you can get those games that you don't want to pay that ridiculous amount of price for. You can get on Game Pass for free on day one, just in case.
Yeah.
As long as it's an Xbox exclusive game. But with Sony, they pretty much have already confirmed that all their first party exclusive games is going to cost $70.
Yeah, and that just really it hits it harder when you say that, rather get an Xbox versus a PlayStation, because I only want to get a PlayStation 5 because I know, for one, Spider-Man 2 is going to come out, Ghost of Tsushima 2 is going to come out, but if there was ever a case where, and I think this would be a good idea, but it'll never happen, if they started having a Game Pass for PC for PlayStation, I would never, ever in my life own another PlayStation.
That's exactly why they're not going to do it. Microsoft has the leeway of doing that, but even then, there's these stipulations like that you can't get certain games on your PC from the Game Pass. But even then, like,
yeah, I'm looking at it too. I can't. For the PC side, you can't get Skate 3, which is heartbreaking.
Like, yeah, it's just the game industry is fucked up, man. It really is. Just bottom line, there's just a lot of fuckery, and they release half-baked shit more often than not. And we're the ones that pick it up, and you have buyer's remorse a lot more times often than not. And it sucks. It just sucks.
Yeah. Because like Gamdo is over here talking about something like where if Ghost of Tsushima 2 release. Because remember, we went into the Cyberpunk with the same mindset of these guys have a proven records Witcher 2, and Witcher 3, they released such a great game. We're just gonna support them because they did such and such great. And what happened? Come on, they fucked everybody over. So
that was not our fault though at all. Like, on top of that, for me, I've never played a single Witcher game, So everyone was talking about how good it is. Y'all remember when y'all were trying to tell me how good Witcher was, and I was like, I'm not sure if I could play this because Geralt swings a sword like a drunk, and I keep getting attacked by this fat ass bird. But then when Cyberpunk,
the gameplay in Witcher, especially combat wise, that one is not the most stellar gameplay or like the most.
You're mainly there for the story. The story is great.
And the lore and the
it
game
has
is
a
pretty,
lot.
like, detailed,
It's a
and the
full
content is
game.
there.
It's a full game. There's tons of hours you could spend there.
I hear you on that. So I never played any of The Witcher like that. I had no expectation. But the thing is that's CD Projekt Red's fault right there for what they did, because we had the expectation this was going to be the best game in the world because they put it out there. They said that you're gonna have all these grand things that you can do, and it was going to be this alive, immersive world where you could, as time goes, you can change up your language or you can understand language. They took at least 50% of that out.
That's the thing again, though. People believe these games developers / publishers way too easily when they promise this nonsense that never really comes in there.
But didn't you though when they did the demo? Because that's what made the hype even better. When they had the demo for E3 a couple years ago, and the motherfucker was hanging on the wall like Spider-Man, they took that out. And I'm saying
this again. Remember what I told you? They will show you something in trailers and demos and stuff, and never makes it to the full game. This always happens.
That's on them.
In the gaming industry.
That can't be on the customers right there, because of course I would believe you if you have that, but if all of a sudden you come out and say, oh no, we took this out days before, the second they change their thing from RPG to action open adventure game, nah.
And this is why I never used to pre-order games or buy games on day one because of such nonsense. I always wait till games are out for a while before I actually buy it, because that way I know I'm making an informed decision while buying the game. And especially in this new like AAA market that the so-called calling like the gaming age, golden age of gaming.
Games as live
right
service.
Now it's just better. Any game that comes out, just don't buy that shit on day one, and don't pre-order that crap either, and just wait till the game actually has a full-blown review out and everybody has a hands-on, and you could check that shit on the streaming
But even there, you gotta be careful, because when you have stuff like CD Projekt Red was doing, where they, were withholding certain reviews.
They can withhold all that shit for our care, but like I said, wait for the game to release, not just the review. Wait for it to get in like streamer hands, like actual players who actually play games for a living.
Right.
So once they get in our hands, they will tell you like this shit is shit.
Right.
I still stand by what I say.
People can wait 3 weeks to play a game. They don't have to play that shit on day one.
Yeah, that's never gonna happen though. Just like Sony's. But I still stand by what I say. If Ghost of Tsushima 2 was $70, I would get it. Because of the fact that I know it. Like they will not do what they did with Cyberpunk or do anything like that.
If it was $70 and when it came out day one, I'm not getting on day one or like day 12 or like 3 weeks later until I see every gameplay and I know when I buy it, I'm buying an actual purchase informed decision. Then I could pay $70, but I'm not gonna buy Ghost of Tsushima 2 or whatever. If it comes out and they just say, oh yeah, $70 and we're making a Ghost of Tsushima game. You remember how great the first game was? Get it on day one. I'm not going to do that, and I'm not going to pre-order it. I'm just going to wait for the game to come out and see people playing it. And I look at it and say, this is something I'm going to like. So then I can drop $70 on it. But I'm not just going to take any game developer or publisher word on how that game is going to be.
We've seen that time and time again.
Because it's been recently I've been getting screwed over more and more for that shit, and I'm the guy who never pre-orders shit and like never buy games on day one. But I don't know, for some reason recent years I just have fucking cash in my pocket to buy stuff.
It's because like you get tired of playing the same thing over and over, and you're trying to look for something else to sink.
The pandemic too,
Yeah,
you just want to play something new, and when something new comes out, you just want to play it. So I blame that too for staying home, but. Yeah, I need to go back to my old ways and actually waiting for games to come out and have it like marinate good in the water first before I actually step my foot into playing it.
I mean, that's the reason why I didn't get Outriders, which I mean, kind of going into that right there.
Yeah, actually,
Outriders been
I'm still
having
enjoying the
issues.
game though.
Yeah,
I heard how you guys are enjoying games despite getting your head lit on fire, like
yeah,
turning to ethereal ash.
I kind of like I enjoyed aspects of it, but I don't know. I just don't have the drive to play it currently. Like me and Elusive over here, we co-op like the entire story and whatever, and it was fun. Like the gear is cool and all that type of stuff, but just more so the stability stuff is just like really what kind of irked me. It's like, kind of just like, come on, man.
It's not
I'm tired of shit.
If you
like
play
this,
Destiny,
dude.
you will realize like how snappy Destiny is compared to Outriders and. Yeah, Outriders, like, you remember how we used to be complaining about when we were loaded into Destiny and when we're driving from one location to another location and we just get stuck on something that just said load in all the time, then before it transition to the next location?
Yeah.
That used to be annoying. In Outriders,
it's
that
worse.
is worse.
It's worse. Yeah. Your character will be jumping across a bridge, and that's
if you just want to jump over a freaking, just a little tiny cliff, that's another loading screen right there. Like, everything that you do that just takes you out of the combat is going to be loading screen. So that is pretty shit.
That's the reason why
and
I
you can't jump and all this other stuff.
It's not fluid at all.
It's
it
just
breaks
not...
you out of the combat. But once you're in the combat, that's where the fun is. Like, especially playing with friends, the fun is just there. I mean,
you could say
you play that shit too, and like where you were just enjoying playing as the what is it? The Trickster.
Yeah, the Trickster. I mean, I was having fun, but the thing is, though, I had this in mind that I was playing this as a demo,
right?
And I was trying to figure out how to jump. I have a great PC, and even though I had that good PC playing Outriders, it was still just fucking weird. Like I mean, granted, it was a demo, but just the combat was really off. Sometimes I was trying to dodge the fire tornado just to get hit in the back of the dome with like it just wasn't fun, and I didn't want to play it because I felt like, why would I play this game when I have Destiny 2 on my PlayStation? I can just play that.
Right.
That's what it felt like. It just felt like a cheap Destiny game.
The fact that you're like vertically restricted it just sucks too, because you can't even jump. Like little shit that you should jump over, you can't jump over it, and like stuff like. You would just get stuck on flat surfaces too while you're trying to row.
Yeah.
Like, why?
And see, that makes it like, let me see, 2 games that I've kind of had buyer's remorse. The first one, honestly, was Valhalla, because I haven't touched that. I don't even fucking months. I don't even know if I'm gonna play that shit again.
I'm gonna get my money out of it, and I'm gonna play that shit.
I'm not saying
I get all the legendaries.
I may boot
like
it up, maybe, shit. But. I want it to be more stabilized and shit, because like I just got bored of it. Now I'm playing Days Gone. I'm actually enjoying that quite a bit.
Yeah, I mean, you guys know me. I like looting shit in games, and
I like looter games too.
Looter
shooters. Looter games are fun.
I know you have fun with it, because that game, I know you like to loot, because it affects your gameplay in Apex. Whenever you're like 50 yards away.
Exactly. Even while we're playing Apex, I just get lost in the world and just looting stuff and get my dome split open, but that's not me. Looting is where I'm at when games.
Yeah.
I play my own games within the game itself. So.
Yeah. Which I guess if we're gonna get into games that we played, of course, war games have been going on. It's kind of weird. There's this thing about like accounts being deleted before the update happened. It was like maybe 4 days ago.
Yeah, Apex account.
Yeah, people's Apex, not mine, but other people's
I know. I'm just saying, like, people Apex accounts were getting deleted.
Yeah, but the accounts have a backup on the servers, so they just booted it.
Grab the previous server one, yeah.
Yeah, so like that was no big deal. It was just really weird. I got Disco Elysium. It's a very different game. It's really, I would say, it's very narrative heavy. While it is a thing where you can just move your character around, you really have to pay attention to the dialogue or you're going to get lost. They speak in this, there's like this interesting way, or this interesting style of
dialogue
that they have that I find really interesting.
Kind of like
because
a
when
noir dialogue format, or what's
yeah,
that?
but it's kind of non-formal where they would be like, yeah, like you're you're drunk on your ass and you wake up, lights blinding. It's like, oh,
Oh,
I
okay.
shat myself.
Kind
Like
of
it's
like
kind of like that.
old English kind of dialogue and sort.
Yeah, like old English, but with some like random comedy. It's interesting. It's a good game. I honestly I only play it in spurts just because of the fact that like I have to concentrate for so long. I end up losing my focus, so I'm just like, yeah, I'm just gonna take it off from there. So yeah, I wish there was more games. I mean, I've
I
honestly
do
just
too.
been playing the same thing.
I do too. I
I
mean,
was
you
actually
guys
looking a
should.
couple days ago, seeing if there's any games that I can get on the Steam store. But what were you saying?
I was gonna say, you guys should, because it's free. You know, get Days Gone. It's
Yeah, I
pretty
was gonna
fun.
get
I
that.
already
It's
got it.
pretty
It's in
fun.
my library. Like I said, I'm just when I'm when I'm playing games, I just like to focus on two games or three games at a time. I don't like to like just stop like dividing my attention between a whole bunch of freaking games. I don't have the attention span for that shit. So
Yeah, I have a
Yeah.
backlog of games that I'm just waiting to get, a next gen console to play on.
I like to do it
Like,
one at a time.
I wanted to
yeah.
replay Phantom Pain, but it kind of makes me worried because I forgot how to play it, and I don't want to sneak in somewhere just to alert the whole
Get your
camp.
dome split open.
Yeah, because it will happen. I told you guys many times how I would choke someone out mid conversation, and they catch on that shit quick, and they just shoot me in my metallic horned head. But yeah,
Yeah.
jeez, man. So they have been talking about E3. Sony's not showing up,
Oh,
which
they
is
never
not.
fucking show up.
Well,
So,
I mean, it's not
yeah.
surprising. Like
Honestly, E3 is dead, man.
with all the
Like, they
nonsense
should just
going on
stop.
right now, I don't think they have the freaking they don't have the patience for that kind of backlash that they're gonna be facing if they even show up because they're not gonna have shit to show. They're doing a big
Yeah.
Yeah.
restructure. They're doing a big restructuring right now,
I
and
Well, they
I
did do that
honestly feel
They
like,
did do that game reveal thing. You remember that one event where
yeah,
they're showing
yeah,
stuff? That was the lamest
that
thing
was
I
famous.
have ever
yeah,
seen,
it was
man.
lame as
They
fuck.
had a whole event to themselves, and they showed
Absolutely nothing.
hardly anything. The only thing that I took away from me that was interesting was that Kung Fu game that had better combat than Arkham Knight. That was the only thing. But I looked at this, I was like, this is horse shit right here. Like they delayed Deathloop, so I don't know why you showed that game. Um, Everything else is just, oh my gosh, it was just ass. I hated it.
And
Moments
what
like these just don't make me want to be a gamer at all. It just makes you want to like be an audiophile or do
what
drugs or
was
something.
even weird is just kept showing a bunch of these corporate heads telling us nonsense that we don't want to even hear in that narrative and how they're gonna be bringing more stuff to PlayStation. But while they're saying that, they're not even showing what they're gonna be bringing. So
Nope.
why do you keep telling
Yeah,
us you're gonna be bringing shit and you're not even showing what you're gonna be bringing to the damn system?
that is exactly why I may be, whenever, they come in stock, I'm probably going to get an Xbox first, and then, following that, I'll get a
Yeah.
PS5.
Well,
I think
look
you
for it
can
in
get an
2022,
Xbox.
my guy. If
Yeah.
I'm still alive by then.
This nigga. Oh. Don't- this man. But
Wait, can't you get? I don't.
no,
I don't.
both systems are sold out everywhere, man.
They're sold out
They're not
everywhere.
they're not coming back in any
Damn.
fucking time
If you're
soon.
lucky, I mean, if like these retails are smart, they're gonna just sell these things in bundles. I know people complaining about the bundles, but that's the only way people are gonna get their hands on these consoles,
I
because
mean, I would get it in bundle. What games
yeah,
are you gonna play? You're gonna
because
buy it
scalpers
anyways.
Exactly.
they don't want to waste money on getting extra peripherals and nonsense that is not gonna help them at all. Because if they're gonna be paying the above retail price for something, then they don't want to scalp that shit. They want to pay as much of low price as possible and sell it for the highest price. So if the
Yeah.
retailers are smart, they're gonna be selling more bundles, and people who want to get it can get it.
Right.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree.
Well, I mean, I guess real quick then. I know you guys don't even have. I know you guys don't want to have any expectations, but so far for this lineup that's gonna happen in June 12th through 15th, which, hey, I'll be graduating by then. There's Xbox, Nintendo, Capcom, Konami, Ubisoft, Take-Two Interactive, Warner Bros, and Coke Media. So, yeah.
I don't know.
What are y'all thinking?
I don't know. I've had the stance for a while. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I think E3 should just everyone should just have their own game show and just show their shit individually.
Wait, that's the only people who are showing up to E3.
Yep.
Yeah, well, the EA Play event is also going to have Square Enix, Sega, Bandai Namco, Tencent, 505, and Activision Blizzard.
Microsoft isn't showing up.
Yeah, I said Xbox.
Oh, okay. Because I know Bethesda always have that event, their own event, so they must be showing up. Even if Microsoft doesn't show up in force, people at Bethesda still do show up. So I
feel like it would really make a good E3 if Xbox was like, yeah, we usually show this at a Bethesda event, and just started playing like some Elder Scrolls music or something like that.
Yeah,
like that would be really good. That would bring back some good memories of being excited for games. I mean,
that's true.
Yeah. Warner Brother games, they probably will tease a little bit more of like the Gotham Knights game that is very Destiny meets DC kind of game. They might even
and just hold on because there's gonna be a whole bunch of microtransaction that crap just to get you. Hey, you like this Robin outfit? Look at how many Robin outfit you could get.
I'm not gonna lie, I don't think I'll get that game just because of the fact that like you have realistically, I know you have like a 5'4" Robin beating up someone, but he's an acrobat and he can hit a lot harder than any normal person.
Right.
I don't want to play a game where I'm punch.
Bro.
Yeah, I don't want to play a game where I'm like repeatedly punching this guy, like giving him like combusted fractures, and he still has half his health left. Like, no, I don't like that. Playing as Batgirl or Red Hood, shooting at them, and they're like, "Is that all you got?" Man, nah. I don't want to.
I'll see. I mean, I won't get a day one, but I mean, it looks
there is the Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League, and I think that's supposed to be like an open world.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that game.
Yeah, so
that game actually looks fun, but I don't know how it's gonna play though.
Yeah, I do want to see more of it. It is in the Arkham universe, so they're gonna they'll most likely have like similar elements, but with just like different visuals and stuff like that. Take-Two Interactive is gonna show up, which will be interesting because it makes you wonder if because those are the people that have women. Do they have affiliation with Rockstar? They don't. Okay, never mind. I was wondering if Take-Two was gonna have some sort of event for any Rockstar game, but never mind. So yeah, man, that left me winded. You guys got anything to add on to that?
No, not really. I mean,
what have y'all been watching then? I know Beam's been watching a lot of shit.
Yeah, I have a little fucking list. I won't bore you with the details of like everything, but I watched The Departed, Hateful Eight, Nothing to Hide, Velvet Buzzsaw, Creep 1 and 2, Max Payne, which is a fucking shitty ass movie. I watched Legend with Tom Hardy, where he plays his two twins. That one's pretty good. And one thing we actually forgot about is Falcon and the Winter Soldier episode 5. Whew! Yeah, boy, was that was honestly like the best episode they had this of this outing. There's just so much stuff that happened, and there's these potential. Listen, grain of salt, right? There's rumors that are swirling around that there was going to be a Wolverine anthology series that was going to kind of spin off from this. We have Thunderbolts being set up and all this other shit going on from this show, but it seems like maybe it's a little more likely that the Wolverine stuff was going to happen because of a character that showed up in this episode, which is Madam Hydra. So yeah, we're gonna have to wait and see how that unfolds. But yeah, Falcon and Winter Soldier, I gotta say, like, I really wasn't that particularly hyped for this show, but it actually ended up making me like the characters a lot more, like, because they just otherwise don't get very much spotlight, because the Avengers really focuses around like Cap and Iron Man and Thor, characters like that. So we don't really get to see much of like Bucky or Falcon or characters like that. So it's cool to see like everything just be on a ground level, them dealing with what they're dealing with, and Falcon wanting to become or struggling to become Captain America, Bucky dealing with his past shit, and it's cool. It's a great show. So if you're not watching it, or you're just waiting like Elusive is here to just binge it, that's another option too.
Obviously, man, bench is how to go about shit. One weekend, sit down, get your bench on.
That's what I'm doing. I'm waiting to do that for that Invincible show you guys keep telling me about. I'm just gonna wait till it's all done.
I know you're gonna love that, because all I can imagine you doing when you're watching is, oh shit. That's all you're gonna be saying the entire time, because it's just how a lot of those moments did.
Especially the first episode. You're gonna be like, you're gonna be awestruck just because of how crazy of a twist it's gonna be. Because they changed up a lot of stuff, which, I mean, you don't mind if I go into spoilers?
No, you're good.
So, first of all, Falcon and Winter Soldier was a great episode, but fuck, I didn't want to open that on my computer. But Invincible, it seems like they changed a lot of stuff, and they're speeding a lot of things up in the show, because it was a lot more spaced out. Like, don't get me wrong, there is a lot to Invincible. Like, what they're showing already is like only the first season before something major happens. But this episode here, they're already supposed to be in college at this time, but instead for this one they're attending like an open house event where like one of the characters, Rick, shows Mark, Amber, and William around campus and stuff like that. And then you get introduced to Ezra Miller's character, which I don't honestly remember what Ezra Miller sounds like for some reason. So like whenever I heard him, I was like, is that him? Like, I don't know. But it was crazy because, for one, in the comics, they didn't really go into like William's sexuality, because like they waited all the way until the end where they like made him have like a gay relationship and stuff. And this one right here, it's already established, and like I'm kind of glad they did that, because it was kind of weird in the comics, so they just waited all this long, because like you kind of like, if you read the comic you would know, and you're just at this point like waiting, like, okay, when is it gonna happen? And then now what's going on is his wife, or not his wife, his mom is already suspecting Mark's dad of being a murderer, and like she's upset. So it makes me wonder like how they're going to make that season finale, because essentially what's going to happen is Mark's dad is going to fuck Mark up, because he's going to tell him the real truth. But in the comics, he said all this on camera, and his wife didn't know what he did.
Right.
Versus the TV show where she already knows, and she's just upset with him. This man punched a hole in his wall, and he's just sitting on the couch like, man, fuck. But yeah, really good show. Animation, like if you're a person who likes animation and like art styles, don't expect like some, Attack on Titan kind of animation. Like, this is a cartoon, and it's really reminiscent
the
to
animation
Justice
is
League.
pretty good though.
It is, but I could tell when they have a lot of static characters where they just don't move at all, or like they do what I've been doing recently, and making 3D models and just slapping like 2D pictures on it. Like,
right.
I could tell when they do that, but
especially when the alien invasion happened, they had a lot of those where people just would pop.
Yeah, they were like all walking in unison and stuff, and then they would actually have some real animation. People were getting their esophagus ripped out or blown up or whatever. Like,
yeah.
So, yeah, that was great. For me, I've been watching Saving Private Ryan, because I don't think I've ever finished it, but I really like that movie. I also rewatched The Clockwork Orange because I was telling these guys about it, which is funny because this leads into Space Jam 2. But yeah, if anyone doesn't know what A Clockwork Orange is, it's a movie in the 70s taking place in like a futuristic sort of dystopian UK area, and it's about these gangs that honestly just do the most foul shit ever. I'm talking home invasion, sexual assault, hyper violence, just you name it. And at one point, the main character ends up getting charged with murder because I guess he ended up what he originally thought was fun when he hit a lady with her own dick sculpture actually ended up killing her. So he had to go to a psychotherapy that made him not like violence or sex anymore, and he was tortured from then on. And the reason why I bring up Space Jam 2 is because of the fact that people made this huge ass fuss about Pepe Le Pew, this fictional fucking skunk who is never going to affect anyone's lives, called him a sexual assault character. Yet in the trailer, they have the fucking droogs from the movie I just mentioned, A Clockwork Orange, sitting in the front row, cheering on LeBron James. And anyone, like I said, who doesn't know these characters, they took out a fictional skunk who is not actually a sexual assault animal and put in actual people who committed sexual assault. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Like,
I guess whoever was making the remake of Space Jam wasn't alive during that time, or probably haven't seen that movie, or they're just pretty much
putting in all these
stupid.
IPs? Yeah, I think honestly, I think you're right. I think what they did was they made Space Jam, or when they're making Space Jam 2, they're putting all these IP characters in here,
Right,
from
and
old movies and not
just
understanding
search for movies from iconic movies from the 70s, 80s, and 90s or whatever, and just say, yeah, let's just toss everything in there.
But why would you actually put serial rapists in the front of the fucking row?
Like, hell, I know.
That doesn't make any sense. Like, great job, guys, man. That's stupid. I didn't know that was the case until someone from my the people that I look on YouTube, they mentioned it. I was like, are they serious? Like, why did they do this? Fucking weird, especially like I said, what's going on with Pepe Le Pew. So I don't know, fucking wild shit. Me and Izzy, we watched. Well, not at the same time, but we watched Thunder Force, and that was a fucking garbage movie. Izzy, tell me what you thought was gonna happen.
Huh?
Tell me.
Why do you have to get me started talking about that movie?
That's gonna
bro?
be a fucking title,
I'm trying to erase it from my mind.
Well, I put it on the list because Izzy thought that it was gonna be kind of like Hancock.
Like Hancock, bro. I thought it was just gonna be like offensive, like funny superhero movie, and yeah, just I don't know, man. Even for a kids movie, that is just awful. Like, why?
No, it's not. It's nowhere near good. Like, I was telling Elusive, like, my whole thing about the movie is like, I knew it was gonna be bad. I knew it was gonna be bad when I saw.
Well, excuse me for being hopeful.
No, I know, but the thing is, I was just like, there's still a superhero phase going on where you gotta just make parodies and stuff like that. Or no, superhero parodies are happening. But like, you see Melissa McCarthy's boiled up, crusty face on the front page, and
because no, she's usually funny. She's a usually funny comedian, at least for some of the projects I've watched her in. So I thought that was more of what's gonna be happening over here, but no, that was just awful.
It was bad. I had to turn it off. I had to turn it off for me when there was one scene where I don't know why they added this in the script, but for some odd reason, her character has to consume raw meat in order to get like the true nutrients, which doesn't make any sense at all. They make Melissa McCarthy eat raw chicken.
Raw chicken. I don't understand that plot point either. That was just fucking weird.
It's fucking gross because Octavia Spencer is just like, your body needs phosphorus and
Right.
it can't have any seasoning because I guess it takes away the nutrients, which is like, who the fuck told you that?
Yeah,
Like,
and for
like,
all
why
of them
would you-
being so smart, they couldn't come up with an alternative.
Yeah,
Like,
give her a
seriously.
protein shake or something. Like you guys are like renowned doctors or scientists and stuff, and they're having her eat raw chicken. And like the scene that made me disgusted was when like she was playing like Fortnite or PUBG or something with
Right.
Octavia Spencer's daughter, and then like she's telling her daughter to get off, but she thinks she gets off the iPad, so she starts eating the meat. And oh my god, man! She tips her head back and just lets that shit slide down her
Yeah,
throat.
and she starts slurping it down like,
Yeah,
like, why?
yeah. And then she thought she was done, or like I said, she thought she was off the iPad. This joke went on for like 3 minutes.
Yeah, it was just a crazy joke, man. It was.
She was just like, oh, it's just so good with like raw meat hanging out of her mouth, and it's just like. I was like, oh my god! Like, it's.
I know that was probably not raw meat, but whatever it is, it looked like raw meat though.
Yeah, so. It looked like raw meat and it sounded like it. Like I said, when they added the slippery, moist sound effect slipping down her throat, I was just like, ah, that was disgusting. I never see anything.
Oh man, that was just awful, bro.
Like, yeah, it was bad. It was bad.
Yeah, just skip that movie, bro.
Oh, nigga, I'm not watching that.
I'm trying to erase that shit.
Watch a movie, yeah, if you ever want to watch a movie where you're just going to be utterly disgusted, go ahead and watch that.
And from some video I saw like on like how to like maximize your Netflix ability from like a guy called like Flix Connection. He's on YouTube. Like to like have a good amount of movies on your Netflix. Because you really can't do it through your app. You just have to log in on Netflix on your computer and just go into the settings and like filter out some of these awful movies. Because like for some reason Netflix always recommend crappy shows for you and movies for you on the front page instead of actually having like the good movies for you that you actually want to see. So it's better to go on your computer desktop and log in and like filter out some of the movies that you may actually want to see to your like categories and shit like that under your profile name.
Oh, okay.
I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah.
Wow, man. Jeez.
Oh, I actually have just something quick here. So, The Witcher 2
wrapped up filming.
The Witcher season 2 release date is going to be 2021, and thank Christ, they're actually
this year.
Yeah, apparently so.
Huh?
This year, and better news is that they're actually taking aspects from the fucking games. Thankfully, because apparently they casted someone for Eridan, the leader of the Wild Hunt. So that's good. And he's gonna appear in season 2 and everything. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I enjoyed the first season. And we'll see what Mr. Superman has in store for us.
Yeah, guarantees. And that just gets me all the time. But I should really start watching The Witcher just so I can have something to watch. Because I know there are certain shows I'm like, I don't want to watch it. But then when I do and I give a chance, it's one of my favorite shows. So yeah,
you should. I think it's pretty good. It's pretty good. It takes some liberties from the books and some from the games, even though they don't want to admit it. With the first season, they were, for some reason, like, I don't know, some of the people were saying like, yeah, we're just gonna follow the books only. We don't want to do the games. It's like, bro, just take some aspects of Witcher 3 and shut up, because that just had like a really great story. So I'm glad they're actually doing it. So
yeah, and one of the biggest gripes I had with that is just like the costume designs and stuff, and
which they said is gonna be
from what
a
I'm
lot
seeing
better.
now, like they're actually rectifying that too.
Yeah, they're changing the Nilfgaardian's armor, I believe, and they're...
Oh no, I've seen pictures and they're pretty looking video game like the way they was described in the book.
Yeah,
they're looking.
Didn't they have to fix the costume?
Yeah, they had to fix.
Cavill was just like ripping that shit like.
No, not only that, like even the soldiers' armors and all those crap were just it was just awful.
Yeah, they're apparently also going to change Geralt's armor, or
I mean,
in this
like
one
at
too.
this point, he's gone through so many armors anyway. Whatever he wears, as long as like period accurate to what they're trying to portray, nobody really cares, you know.
Right. Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
Geralt has so many outfit in the game because that's where most people actually know the Witcher from. But in the
Right.
book, it describes a lot of armors that he wears anyway. So either way, whatever they like suit him up in, it's still gonna work out as long as like period accurate to what fantasy Witcher verse they're trying to like present to people.
I gotta wonder if at any point, like during one of the later seasons, if they're gonna have him grow out the beard, like he has in Witcher 3. You look pretty
Most likely,
pretty
that would be
badass with
cool.
that, man.
Yeah.
I mean, or they could just put a CG beard on him like they did
Oh
for
God,
Max Payne.
please
That
no,
would be
please
interesting.
don't, please don't do that. We've already seen what that fucking ends up looking like.
And we're gonna
Fucking
have Beard
Justice
Gate
League
all over again
beard
after the
gate.
mustache date when it ended.
Yeah. Masters. Well, I mean,
I mean,
that's,
I think
that's all I,
I think
that's
we
all I really have. I mean,
hit everything.
yeah. I gotta say, like, this week has been fucking crazy to me. Like, Thursday, was it Thursday? Yeah, it was. Thursday was probably the peak of a horrible week just because everything that was going on. Still in the process of graduating soon. It's a scary, scary feeling, honestly, knowing that this economy, but I'm trying to be as best prepared as possible. But,
Don't worry, it's gonna pass.
yep, much like my lifespan. But yeah, no, just like class today, or not today, like I said, Thursday, my teachers have been just unapologetically
Fuck boys.
dismissive. Yeah, fuck boys, I guess. But they so we were trying to get this project done for the spring quarter and stuff, an animated project. Everyone wants to get this stuff done. They want to move on to pre-production as quick as possible because it's already week 4. We only have 10 weeks into the quarter. I am horrified at this point. Like, I know I'm gonna have to pull multiple all-nighters, but for some strange reason, my teachers are like, "Yeah, while you guys go ahead and do this, you got some writing assignments that you have to do." And we're like, "Why the fuck are you making us do this?" And they're like, "Well, you have to understand, you're gonna be doing this as a media arts student, so." When you get a career, you're gonna be doing a lot of writing. I highly fucking doubt that. And then 2, the last few minutes, they were talking. They're like, "Yeah, I understand how hard this is. Just know, but as a media art student or a media artist, you're gonna be facing a lot of trials and tribulations.
Shut
So
the
to keep so to keep your mind off of this, what we want you to do on Monday is finalize your other project from last quarter and get ready to submit it so we could do a compilation." I was like, why did they do this? Like, I made a Discord. I made a Discord for my class, even though my teachers didn't want that. And when they said that, I was just like, yeah, they're really trying to fucking kill us. And everyone just put a bunch of smiley, teared up faces emojis as a response, and it just kept building up until like majority, if not all, expressed the same emotion as I did. It's just fucked, but
Because like it's like they're just having you guys do a lot of pointless assignments that it's not gonna pay off for anything at all.
it's
Because
not.
Yeah.
It's
instead
really,
of like focusing you guys' mind on more of the creative aspect of the classes that you're taking, they're just having you guys like they're pretty much just saying we can't really think of anything creative for you to do. So hey, let's
that's
just
creative right there. We're supposed to have They say we're supposed to have a 3 to 10 minute film. How the fuck are you gonna do that
No,
if we have
that's
to
why
write
I say they're
600
just
words?
copping out now and they're just trying to make you write a whole bunch of crap instead of.
I ain't gonna lie to you or the audience. I haven't done fucking shit. I haven't done shit in my class for the first 4 weeks because I'm trying to make sure that I have a good 5 to 6 minute clip film as a demo reel. So that way, when I approach a studio, I can be like, "Hey, this is what I did." Because at this point, I'm already done. I don't want to have to deal with this shit no more. I fucking hate writing. I only like writing if it has something to do with the story that I want to create, but it's not my main focus.
Right.
That's not even the worst. Well, that's actually no. That is the worst part of the day. The second worst part was my ceiling started leaking and a bunch of water just burst through my ceiling. And I remember I was playing with these guys. I was playing Apex, and all of a sudden I heard tapping.
Yeah.
I heard tapping.
Like somebody opened a faucet right over your head, bro.
And I was like, what the fuck? Because I thought that my stove was on and something was burning, and I was like, I didn't even cook anything. What is this madness? And then all of a sudden, I look further out and I see a bunch of water pouring. I was like, oh, you gotta be kidding me. I was like, what the fuck? And all of it just came down. And I was just like, yo, what the fuck? Like, what is going on? It was a lot of water. It was a lot of water. So, yeah, that was my week. It was a fucking travesty.
Oh, well, I guess if we're doing that, because we did say we would talk about it, like, I won't say any names, okay?
Your grievances. This shit is funnier than mine.
Listen. To anyone out there, there's always going to be these kinds of people at your workplace. This is exactly why I told these guys, after I'm done moving from this place, I will be going full ahead into just doing, my own business. I want to work for myself because working with people fucking suck. So over here we have this lady at my job who will remain nameless. She, for some reason, just complains about everything. And I have to believe that a lot of people there don't like her. Matter of fact, one of the people I talked to basically just flat out called her a bitch, which she honestly is. But I guess I'm in her crosshairs now because, she started complaining about me over here. And luckily, another lady there, she is looking out for me. She was like, I know you're a good person. Just make sure you're on your tiptoes around this person right here because they're just saying a lot of dumb shit. And I'm just like, okay, bet. And here's the thing. When you're made aware of stuff like that, all the actions and all the things from previous, like, where it's like, oh, there's been complaints, it all adds up now. Because it's like, okay, it's all from this fucking person right here. But I'm leaving the office, right? Or I'm going to the front because, I work in an office setting. I'm going from the back to the front. I'm walking by this lady, and she says, "Oh, it's probably time for you to leave now, huh?" And here's the reason why this is relevant is because before, when it wasn't an issue, I'd leave like 5-10 minutes early. It wasn't an issue, but it is an issue to this lady now because I'm in her crosshairs. So when she said that, I just ignored her. I was like, yeah, okay. Just in my mind, I was like, okay, like this is how it's gonna be. And I was just thinking to myself, why is it that because this is the same type of shit that would happen at my last job where they just have like toxic workplaces like this where you just allow these people to just fester. And it's like, if I was the fucking boss, as soon as I saw that, your ass is out of there. Like, I'm firing you. Your shit can be replaced. Your position can be replaced. It's not that hard. You're a fucking front desk clerk. Like, it's not that hard to replace that. But suffice it to say, it's just crazy how people like this can snuggle up to the people that are like above them. So then they have some sort of field of protection, against any sort of complaints or criticism against them. So basically, all the shit that you say about them falls on deaf ears and nothing ever gets resolved, which is why you just remove yourself from that equation, which pretty soon will be happening. And I'm going to be grateful for that once, the move happens. And I just, just stay clear of people like that, man. Bottom line, stay clear of them.
Stay clear of them. Just be mindful of them,
Yeah, be mindful and just stay clear.
It was really funny when he first told me this because when he first told me, he's like, yeah, someone complained the fact that I was wearing shorts. And I was like, well, why would a customer even care what you're wearing unless they're trying to like jump your bones or something? Like, what's going on with that? And because the thing is, though, is like putting two to two together. I feel like we were solving this mystery out. Yep. We're like, okay, first of all, no one who's supposed to come here for an appointment or any other sort is supposed to go behind a security desk.
Right. So how the hell did they see you pass?
Why would they complain? Two, we found out that it was that lady there that was getting on his head. Why was she looking at his legs?
I don't know. That's fucking weird. Because
why was he looking at Kai Beam's legs? Like she wanted,
I don't know, dude. Because when I got that call, because like I report to like a manager there, and she's like buddy with hers. So yeah, that's not good news. But yeah, I get a call from her that day. She's like, yeah, I got this complaint that you're not in professional wear. I was like, you know how long I've been wearing these professional clothes that I went out and got myself. You know how long I've been. Even she acknowledges, like, yeah, I've never really noticed because you're always behind the desk. I'm like, so why are we having this conversation then? But this is just like Illusive said. When there ain't shit to do there, they're just gonna focus on a bunch of dumb shit.
Find something to complain about, man.
Yeah. So
it was hilarious. It was hilarious because he's just like he just sits down, and the thing is, like they're complaining. So like the chances, she literally had to have just literally
constantly passing over on the counter.
Yeah, look at Kai Beam and be like, you know what? He's wearing shorts, and it's just weird because the thing is, like, I'm pretty sure the chair that you sit on is like you can't even see your legs. So like, unless like staring at your ass or something, like what?
unless I'm like leaning back in my chair or something like that. Yeah, I mean, you would be able to see me because like in the back is where like the lounging room is, like where you warm up your food and shit. So I mean, I walk back there, but even then, like, why are you looking at my legs? And it's not like I have like short shorts on, like basketball shorts. These are fucking professional dicky shorts that are like to my knees and
like
below,
over your knees just a little bit, right?
Exactly.
Like, below your knees. I mean, not over.
Yeah. It's below, so it's just like, what are we doing here? Like I said, I'm just gonna be happy when I'm just out of here, man. Honestly,
it was man, that was really really funny.
I was like, that feels funny right there, bro.
Yeah, gosh.
Yeah, but yeah, I think that's it. That's a wrap, right? We don't have anything else to really talk about. I think we covered all the topics we had today, so you already know what it is, man. Kai Beam Podcast, episode 13. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, all that good shit. We'll catch you guys later.
Still live out there.
Yep.
And if you ever have a ceiling leaking, make sure that you have a plugged-in toaster oven. Just put that shit right.
Wait, what?
Don't do that shit. Just put a bucket underneath it. Don't listen to that guy over there. He's trying to get you killed.